How's it going, guys? Shane here again from the GnG Elite DBS team, and sorry if I sound kind of out of it. It's my vacation. I just woke up, but we got SR cards for Destroyer Kings, and we need to take a look at those because anybody going to, I believe it's the final 3 celebration events. Set 6 is going to be legal, so it's going to be any celebration event besides Toronto, and I think it's Toronto, whatever Canada won. And then I think Orlando's the first one in the States. I could be wrong about that. There could be one more before Orlando in the States. Because I know there's the West Coast one, Charlotte, and Chicago. But I know there's at least 2 of these events where Set 6 is going to be legal. So it's going to be really important for a lot of people. Because they're going to need to figure out what from this set is worth playing during the first and second week of the set's release. So that's going to be really big for some people. So let's see. Let me get back to my webpage here. Alright, so just looking at this, we see we've got a Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, which we kind of expected. There's like a thematic theme for that in this set. There's a Golden Frieza, so that's kind of neat. There's 2 Boos, so there's a Boo Han and a Boo Tanks, and that's kind of interesting. Like, I do enjoy seeing a Boo Tanks. We have a Broly, which is to be expected, a Paragus, which is to be expected, an old Broly, so that's kind of interesting. Wasn't expecting to see an old Broly. SS2 Gohan and Bojack, both of those to be expected. A lot of thematic support here in this set. Let's see, we already saw the one-drop Kid Goku. And then we have a, was it Super Shenron? Yeah, Super Shenron. Again, kind of to be expected. We are getting that leader in this set. So let's scroll down here. Let's take a look at the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. So he's an 8 cost, 35k with EX Evolve. Choose 2 red cards from your hand and place them in your drop area, needing to be a red Gogeta BR card with an energy cost of 6. So he goes on top of the 6 drop. Double strike, permanent. This card can't be KO'd and can attack battle cards that are in active mode. When the card evolves into this card, if there are no battle cards in play in your opponent's battle area, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's life and place them in their drop area. And you can't play Fusion Onslaught for the duration of the turn. So that seems kind of strong. It's kind of like Lightning Fast Hit in a way, but not quite as like just streamlined. So it's going to reward you for clearing your opponent's field, keep maintaining a field presence, and then just auto-dealing 2 damage. When this card attacks battle cards, switch this card to active mode. So that's insane. It's not once per turn. And he's a 35k base. This card seems really powerful at first glance. Especially the way that this deck spams the board and generates advantage from what we've seen from the commons, uncommons, and rares. I don't see there being a whole lot of issue clearing the board to make deal 2 damage. So I think this card's very powerful and worth keeping an eye on. We have an 8-drop Golden Frieza, Indomitable Emperor. EX Evolve, choose 3 cards from your hand and place them in your drop area over a red Frieza BR card with an energy cost of 7. So it's 30,000 power, has critical. If your leader card is a red Frieza's Army card, you and your opponent can't play battle cards with 30,000 power or less until they choose 4 cards from their life and place them in their drop area as they play the battle card. When a card evolves into this card, switch this card to active mode. This also seems super powerful. So it can only be played with the 2 red Frieza leaders. And this, like, okay, so I know in my review video of the red cards, I was a little critical of the new red Frieza and his support because you couldn't play cards that cost like 4 or less or whatever. But this kind of makes that worth it. Like, this card's very powerful. Like, it can shut out just a lot of decks once it hits the board. And even if they have removal for it, a fair chunk of their removal they're going to have to discard 4 cards from their life. Like, that's insane. This card seems super nuts. Sorry, I'm a little congested. Let's see. Blue, we have a 7-drop Buhan. Ultimate Absorption, 25k. Triple Strike. Oh boy, here we go. Shenron's looking right at you, Buhan. When this card is played from the energy area, choose up to 1 battle card in your drop area and place it under this card. Then choose up to 1 of your blue energy and switch it to active mode. Okay. Auto once per turn. When this card attacks, if there's a Sun Gohan Adolescence card placed under this card, Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, place it under this card, and switch this card to active mode. So, that's pretty neat. So he's going to absorb one of your opponent's cards, any one of your opponent's cards. Granted, it doesn't get around barrier, and it's going to allow it to attack twice. So this is really neat, and this bottom part, I'm sorry guys, my dog's being a little loud. Shh, sit. Okay, so it doesn't require the leader, like a specific boo leader or anything like that. So the second effect could be abused in other decks. We would just have to find a way to make it consistent about, you know, getting the Gohan underneath and things like that and going into this, which might be hard. I'm not too sure. I'd have to look into all the cards required to, you know, build a Shenron deck around that. But this could be a decent, like, maybe a Shenron deck or a Broly OTK deck. Because this would, like, Shenron would essentially give this quadruple strike, and Broly would give it triple strike. So this could be worth looking into for degenerate OTK decks. Let's see, we have the Boo Tanks now, which is a 4-drop 20k barrier. When this card's played for energy area, choose one battle card in your drop area and place it under this card. Activate main once per turn. If there's a Go Tanks card under this card, play one Majin token. Oh, neat, tokens. Activate main, 3 blue and a colorless. Your leader card is a Majin card. Choose one Majin Buu card with the energy cost of 7 in your energy area and play it. If you played a card, add this card to your energy in rest mode. So, this seems alright. It just gets you into the 7-drop. So, it has barrier, so it'll stick a lot of the time. And it does generate some token advantage, so that's not terrible. Green, we have Broly, Limits Transcended. Shush. 8-drop, Broly Limits Transcended, Double Strike permanent. During battles where this card is attacking, your opponent can't activate counter skills with energy cost of 2 or more. Most counters are only 1 energy, so it seems mostly irrelevant. Activate battle once per turn. Choose one card from your hand and place it in your drop area. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. Now that's strong. Trading a card to KO anything is just super strong. And it's a 35k double strike, so this card seems pretty good. We have a 2-drop Paragus Rampage trigger, 5k power, auto. When you play this card from your hand, choose up to one Broly control mechanism from your deck and activate it. On the shelf of your deck, that seems really good for that archetype. Activate main, choose this card, one card in your battle area, and place them in their owner's drop areas, and you choose one. Choose one Broly BR card with the energy cost of 6 from your deck and add it to your hand. That's going to add consistency. Choose up to one Broly BR card from your drop area and add it to your hand. So this card seems really important for that archetype, and will probably be a 3 to 4 staple. Now we have the old Broly. It's a 7-drop Broly, the Supreme Berserker, 30k critical barrier, evolve for 3. So it could be evolve 2 or 3, I forget. So it should be like an evolve 2 with the promo Broly from TP3. So that's worth noting. Auto once per turn, burst 5. When this card attacks, if your leader card is a Broly card, so it has to be the OG Broly, choose one. If your opponent has 3 or less cards in their hand, switch this card to active mode. Okay. If your opponent has 4 more cards in their hand, they reveal their hand, choose one card from it, and your opponent places it in the drop area. So it is a burst 5, and that's unfortunate. But the second effect, or the first one, I'm sorry, is really strong, and the second one's not bad either. And as a critical barrier, 30k, that's quite a bit of pressure they're going to have to deal with. So this card seems pretty decent. Yellow, 5-drop Gohan, 30k. Double Strike, Auto, Sparking 7. When you play this card, if your opponent has 4 or more energy, if there's a Son Goku Guardian Angel under this card, choose all of your opponent's energy, switch them to rest mode, and this card gains dual attack for the duration of the turn. That's insane. So you're gonna rest all your opponent's energy, and this double striker gets dual attack. So and he's 30k. So this card seems really nuts. This seems like the kind of support that deck really needed. And yeah, card's good. 8-drop Bojack the Plunderer. He's a 25k EX Evolve for 3 yellow and a colorless. Bojack with an energy cost of 3. Auto, when you play this card, if you have 5 or more life, choose all of your opponent's cards and switch them to rest mode. Holy crap, all of your opponent's cards. That's absolutely bananas. Like, That's insane. Auto, when your opponent switches one of their cards in rest mode to active mode, if your leader card is a Bojack Brigade card, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and sends it to their warp. That's absolutely nuts. We need a clarification on how that works. Because it doesn't say once per turn. So, okay, during their untap phase, it should all count as just one untap, so they should only just, like, warp one card. But that's going to hit every turn that he's in play. If they Sensu Bean at all, that's going to hit. If they awaken untap, that's going to hit. So, that seems really strong. And just one of those effects that gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on and he stays on the field. It also is worth noting, if you get more than one in play, that should stack, and that can get pretty absurd pretty quickly. Activate main once per turn, choose one Bojack Brigade card in your battle area and place it in its owner's drop area, and this card gains dual attack. So that's pretty good as you've whittled out their resources and can try to end the game, because he doesn't have double strike or anything like that, or even critical. So that dual attack is going to be necessary to try to end the game. The second effect seems really absurd, or these first two effects, I'm sorry, seem really absurd. Him and this Gohan both seem pretty nuts. But that's good, because that Bojack deck needed something, because at face value, it didn't seem all that great. Especially because the Bojack leader got super shafted and has no awaken ability whatsoever. So black, Son Goku, the adventure begins. He's a 1-drop, 5k. Activate main once per turn, choose up to one 4-star ball from your deck or drop area and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Okay, fits the theme. It is only a 1-drop, 2 to your 4-star balls. Fair. Activate main once per turn for 2 energy. If your leader card is black, choose up to one skillless battle card that energy costs 3 or less from your deck or drop area and play it, and shuffle your deck if you look through it. So paying 2 energy to get a 3-drop vanilla 30k beater seems pretty good. This seems like it's also going to be a staple for its archetype, and if that archetype ends up being viable, you'll probably need 4 of this card. Last but not least, Super Shenron Ultimate Wishmaster. Permanent, this card can only be played from your hand, it can't attack. Okay, so you cannot cheat it into play, it has to be played from your hand. When you play this card, if your leader card is a black Shenron card, and there is a God card in play in your battle area, draw 2 cards, then choose all of your opponent's cards in their battle area, ignoring barrier, and place them in their owner's drop areas. And your opponent can't activate skills on cards other than their leader card until the end of their next turn. Okay, so this looks hard to pull off, but innately powerful. So I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. So you could build a regular Shenron ramp deck and just have, I mean, it just requires a god in your battle area. So, I mean, you can play some kind of Beerus. I don't know, we'll just go with Beerus for now. So you draw 2, and choose all their battle cards, ignore barrier, and just basically KO them. And then your opponent can't really do anything during their next turn. So that's pretty nuts. Yeah, this just seems really nuts. I'm not sure how viable it'll be, because that 8 energy cost and only being able to play for your hand, unless there's a way in the set to play this easier, which I can't remember if there is or not. But this does seem the hardest to pull off, but it is still just very powerful if you do. So this could be worth looking at. Anyways, that's it for the SRs. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty hyped. A lot of these SRs seem really good, and it seems like a really powerful set. I know a lot of people are saying that this set looks really weak, and I highly disagree with you. I think you should take a better look, because a lot of these cards look super powerful, these archetypes look super powerful, and the way they're going with the game now is how to make the game last long term. Generically powerful cards in a color hurt the game sometimes, whereas just building strong archetypes is better for the game's longevity. So I think they're going in the right direction. I'm really hyped for a lot of these cards. Like the Gogeta seems super fun. The Bojack and the Gohan seem super fun. The Boo stuff is really neat. I actually really want to work with a way to try and abuse the 7-drop Buuhan in like a Broly or a Shenron deck. But, alright. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to go start brewing. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and as always, stay elite.